of today with this kind of environment. And so the question is, how do we protect the tech startups as we grow our digital economy?
The tech space is a very important space to us. In fact, it is one space that I have really worked hard to make sure that the creative economy is built and is monetized. Many young people in that space did not have access to the monetization instruments. I had to negotiate with TikTok. I had to negotiate with Facebook. And today, Kenya is among the 4 countries where creatives in that space can actually be paid or can monetize that space. And the monetization of that space, some of those people in that space today earn 1 million shillings. You know that?
I do.
So the question we ask them is, a person earning 20,000 in Kenya or 30,000 pays tax. If you earn 1 million shillings, isn't it just correct that you contribute something to the tax kitty? And especially when we have enabled you to achieve that. I think that makes sense. At least to me, makes sense. Because, and we have put enough threshold so that we don't tax the small guys. Number 2, we now have a startup bill in Parliament that will now provide a whole legislative framework for the growth of our startups. And in fact, the Kenya Innovation Agency is spearheading that effort. And to be able to give it impetus, that Kenya Innovation Agency was lost somewhere between the Ministry of Youth, the Ministry of ICT, because it had too many things it was doing. I decided last month that I will incubate that Kenya Innovation Agency in my office so that we can work better and provide an environment for the ICT ecosystem, starting with a startup bill, a startup fund, so that we can grow our small innovators into the M-Pesas, into the Microsofts of this world. So that is the space we are working on.
Your Excellency, you'll be very proud to know that when Honorable Sakaja was in Senate, this is when we worked on that bill, and we are looking forward that Parliament could speed it out. We really worked hard to get it out of Senate, and Honorable Sakaja was very instrumental.
I think it's now in the final stages in Parliament. There were some amendments that were carried out last week, and I'm confident that in the first quarter of next year, we should have a startups bill that will address all the concerns you have said about the digital ecosystem and the innovators in that space and how we will support them to experience the journey towards being serious companies.
That would be excellent. And my final question, in the interest of time, we're looking at the global environment, the changing global environment. And one of the sectors that is affected a lot when the supply chains are affected by wars and all other logistics is the manufacturing. And we are feeling the pain as manufacturers because of all those changes. And I'm just wondering, thinking about the people who ask this question, what are we doing as government, and how could we work together with you much closer to really address some of the pains that the manufacturing sector is feeling with all the changes that are happening globally and also locally, and especially with our regulatory environment, which has always been a challenge. I'm so glad to hear about with the KRA and the issue of VAT, but there's a lot of regulatory issues that are really affecting the manufacturers today. And if we are going to move our manufacturing from 7%